Hey everyone, welcome to today's episode. I'm really excited. We have Rebecca Ryan with us. She is the founder of Serving Up Social. She's a brand photographer and a visual marketing partner. Welcome, Rebecca. So nice to have you with us.
Thank you so much, Cheryl. I'm so excited to be here. Really appreciate it.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit more about what you do.
So, yeah, like you mentioned, I'm a brand photographer. I'm actually a former health coach and food blogger. And that's when I first picked up a camera to take images of my recipes and inspire other people to get back into their kitchens so they could, cook healthy meals for their families. And I've taken a few other twists and turns along the way, but back in 2019, I knew I needed to make a change and worked with a coach as well, and was encouraged to take pictures of women entrepreneurs for their business. Being online, being out there is so important now. Everyone needs images. And although I had never really done that before, I said, okay. So, it took a lot of courage, trying something new. And,
Yeah.
obviously working with people is quite a bit different than working with a plate of food that can't talk back to you. But I really fell in love with it. I have made so many connections and have met so many interesting people. And I love helping. I mainly work with savvy female entrepreneurs right now, and I love helping them shine online.
Yeah.
Really so important right now. Whether we like it or not, we need to be out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a good point because there's a lot of people that don't like it too much right now, but
Yeah.
um,
Well, that's
you
what we're going
know,
to talk about, right?
yeah, that's what we're going to talk about. So you kind of talk around 5 hacks to overcoming fears, right? So let's first talk about like what kind of fears are you seeing when you're working with your clients on getting visible?
Well, I mean, the first thing that I always hear, and like I said, I mainly work with women, but this could apply all around, is that people are just uncomfortable in front of the camera.
Yeah,
But I think, in general, when you talk about visibility, you're talking about more than just being in front of the camera. I mean, you're talking about, being out there in general. So I think, there's fears of being judged, there's fears of sounding uneducated, or that what I have to say, who am I to be, it's the imposter syndrome. Who am I to be talking about XYZ subject, or maybe I'm annoying if I send an email every week, so I think there's all those fears. Yeah. So it's
yeah,
self-doubt, the fear, the judgment. Also, some people feel like they don't have time. Um, but yeah, I think that it's really a lot about fear and self-doubt. And I mean, I'll maybe talk about this later, but it's really the more you do it, the more comfortable you feel. I mean, if you asked me a year ago, would I hop on a podcast? I would have said no. And now with everything on Zoom, uh, it's actually, I mean, I have found it less intimidating than standing up in front of a room of people.
yeah,
So it could be a good opportunity for people right now to kind of take advantage of that if they feel the same way, and maybe practice putting themselves out there and getting more comfortable with it, because it is a little less scary than owning the room, so to speak.
yep.
Yeah.
So what are the benefits of of that visibility that that entrepreneurs and coaches need to really embrace?
Yeah, so I mean, the benefits, people need to see you and hear from you, multiple times, in order to build that know, like, and trust factor. I mean, it's no longer, put your shingle up outside your door and expect people to just come on in. I mean, that's just not how it works anymore, and I'm not sure if it ever did. Um, I struggled when I was a health coach. I dealt a lot with those fears about, oh, I'll just send an email and I don't want to sound too salesy. And, um, I would send one email and I'd be like, but why is no one hiring me? And, you have to keep pushing. And although it's hard sometimes because sometimes you feel like, okay, did anyone read that email? You send it and no one responds. But funnily enough, um, again, I'll give the example of when I used to health coach and blog. And I always felt like, is anyone even reading these? But then as soon as I stopped, people were like, oh, but I loved your emails. Why did you stop sending? So I encourage people to keep going, even if it feels like there is no one listening. And I did want to read a quick quote by Marie Forleo that kind of talks about that as well, and why it's so important to be consistently visible. Because what she says is, no matter how many times you think an idea or creation has been shared in the world, sometimes it takes that one person expressing it in their unique voice at the right time, in the right place, for it actually to make a difference. So,
Yeah.
it could just be that one day that, maybe someone forgot about whatever it is that you do, but it's like that one day where you send the email and they might be experiencing the pain point that you help with. And they're like, oh my God, that's right. Cheryl does that. I should call her, because you just never know, what someone's situation might be, that day, that hour, that week, or they might think of you the next time that someone else they know needs your service.
Yeah.
So by being consistently visible, you'll be remembered when it's time and someone needs your service.
Yeah, I agree with that. And it's really the long game
Yeah.
um,
No,
with
and it's
that
hard
visibility.
because it could be discouraging, that
Yeah.
you're doing all this stuff and why isn't anyone calling? And you just have to try and keep going, and surround yourself with supportive people, um, to help you keep going on your path.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is a visibility mindset?
So a visibility mindset, I like to think of as really embracing your gifts and knowing that the only way anyone is going to know about you and how you can help them is by being visible. And um, like I said, the more you put yourself out there, kind of the easier that it gets. So, and it's also about, um, visibility is really about your client, and it's really not about you. So it's letting go of all those insecurities and all those fears, and practicing and doing it more and more so that you can reach the people that you were meant to serve. So that's how I think of as a visibility mindset.
Yeah. So like building relationships and making connections and just really having that at the forefront. Like you said, it's not about you, it's about building those connections. It's about reaching other people and helping them. And we
Yeah,
can't do that if we're not visible.
exactly. Like I said earlier, you can't just say, "Oh, I'm a coach." Okay, like where where are you? How are you adding value? How can people see you? What podcast can you apply to? Maybe you can, um, you know, host something on your own platform, or sending emails. It's all about adding value, and continuing to show up so that the people who were meant to find you at that time they were meant to find you will find you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that. And so you talk around, kind of some mindset hacks
Sometimes.
that could help people to feel more comfortable. What are some of those?
Well, one of them I kind of mentioned before, which was about, or which was realizing that visibility is not about you, that it's about your client. So really putting their needs first, as opposed to focusing on, that pimple you might have that day and why you don't want to show up on video. It's about, your message and how you could reach as many people as possible, via whatever platform you're doing it on, probably multiple. But it's really about, about them. The other one that is interesting and I think has become more important or just more prevalent since COVID is just about, you know, there's strength in vulnerability, and there really isn't anything wrong with showing a bit of yourself, even if it's not perfect, and sharing your story, because stories are really what people remember. And I had this recent experience watching the Tina Turner documentary. Have you seen it?
I did. I actually watched it last weekend.
Oh,
It's pretty
funny.
good.
Yeah, no, it's great. But, in addition to her amazing talents, as an artist and a performer, what we love about her or what we remember most about her is her story. And
Yeah.
she kept talking about that in the documentary that like she just couldn't even she doesn't even want to talk about that anymore. But like our heroes and our icons, um, we love because we love their stories. So, thinking about, you know, or just accepting that it's okay to share your story. Not everything has to be salesy. Make it more personal, because there is actual research that shows that your parts of your brain light up, um, when people hear stories and it makes them care. So, so finding strength in vulnerability and sharing personal stories, sharing images of you, along with a personal story, or just, showing up on video, even if it's kind of like an impromptu, not so scripted professional crew coming in, just, you and your iPhone telling a little story, and obviously make it relatable to what you do, but people want to get to know you. And like I said, I think more so during this time, people want to connect. And they are more likely to buy from someone that they feel a little bit of a connection to or can relate to in some way. So sharing all of that. What other hacks? Just letting go of the perfectionism. We've all
Big thing. Yeah.
yeah, we all make mistakes, and that's okay. I mean, we're gonna fall down. We have to get back up. I mean, that's how we learn. There's another book that I first read when I started my business, just called Brave, Not Perfect. So I often keep that in my mind. Just do it.
Just do it. Yep.
Yeah,
Action is better than
right, right. Imperfect action is better than no action.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, for new coaches, new entrepreneurs, I think we often hold ourselves back because, we don't have the right website, we don't have the right this, we don't have the right that. But if you don't just do it, all that will come. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
I agree. I think it's important to I talk about taking structured action and just doing it because we do put all these blocks in our own way, and sometimes it gets difficult to overcome them. But um, in fact, one of my blog posts was talking about 3, 2, 1, go, where just do it, just count
yeah,
down, and I think that comes from somebody else that I read a book on, but I forget who it is, but just saying, hey, 3, 2, 1, go and do it.
right.
Hit the live button or hit the record button or take the
Then,
picture. Yeah. Something and just do it and see what happens. And I think you're right. People love the story and they are able to relate to people better when they hear the story and they hear what's going on. So you can build those connections and people are going to empathize, and they're going to, in some cases, see themselves in what you're saying and what you're doing.
exactly. Yeah. exactly.
Yeah. And so that can elevate you right there as far as those connections.
Absolutely.
Um, did we go over all 5 hacks?
No, I mean, I have more.
Yeah, let's talk about a couple more.
Okay. No, I talk about, being organized. You know, I know that that doesn't always apply, but when you at least have a plan, sometimes you feel like you're in more in control. Um, let's say you have a social media plan, or this week I'm going to post about XYZ, or if I make a blog post about subject X, I could then chop it up and turn it into 2 different posts. So I think that's really helpful. And then I think number 5, yeah, finding your partners. So if you're having trouble finding the time, or feel like you don't know what to say, find, if you can, find help. I mean,
Yeah.
there's social media managers out there, there are copywriters, there are lots of people, virtual assistants who would love to help, help you create content, and just help you put yourself out there in the best way. Like, maybe you're not a good writer, and that's okay. You're probably great at whatever it is, the other thing you're selling. So if you find someone who can help you do the other things, don't let those things stop you. And maybe it's an investment at first, but you'll probably see the return on the investment in the long run by putting yourself out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting because it's hard to it's hard to imagine sometimes, like you said, being organized. It's hard to imagine sometimes us being organized, right? Because we jump from here to there and doing
I
this.
never said I was organized.
Yeah.
Just say it's a good idea.
Yeah. But yeah, but you're right. I mean, I totally agree. The is if you can schedule out, I talk about buckets. If you can do like scheduling buckets of time, where you create content, where you do video, or where you have your clients and, whatever, like the back office stuff. If you have those buckets, it's so much easier. It's on your calendar. You're more likely to do it than just sitting there going, okay, what am I doing next?
Yeah, or like if you're gonna do video, I mean, for women, um, putting on the makeup and just doing whatever you want to do to, get yourself camera ready, like, rather than doing that, several different times a month, like, you can just do it once and then change your shirt and it seems like a different day.
Yeah. So if you're doing like a video series or something for your
Right.
website, just yeah, do that change instead of I did that actually for a challenge. I recorded all it was 7 days and I was like I need to get these recorded and I just kept changing a shirt and earrings.
Right. Yeah. I'm sure no one knew the difference.
No,
But
no, nobody knew. So, but that's the truth because it saves you time, it saves you energy in the long run, and you don't stress about it because you're going to do it when you're in the mood at that point. And so while you're in the mood and you're ready and you're organized with it, yeah, like you said, just take that extra time and change the shirt or or stop the recording and start it again or whatever it is that you need to do. But and as far as like scheduling things ahead of time, you too using a social media scheduler, like so when you're in the zone sitting there writing your posts, write them and schedule them right into the scheduler, and so you've got a week, 2 weeks, or a month worth of posts already up
yeah,
um,
exactly.
to get visible. Yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome.
sure.
So so you talk about you're a brand photographer, so tell me, what are some things that you, besides like not wanting to get in front of a camera, what are some other kind of mindset blocks you come across with people doing your brand photography? I'm actually having a new shoot. I've already done 2 so far, so I have a third one coming up.
Oh,
And it's interesting because I've gained some weight from COVID, like
mm,
a
like
lot of weight.
like everyone, yeah.
And so when I was talking to my photographer, I was like, yeah, I don't know if I want to do it yet. Like, I just don't know if I want to do it yet. I want to wait till I lose this weight. But then I'm thinking, well, my website's getting redone too. So I'm doing this whole rebranding thing.
Yeah.
Like, so I need new pictures. And, so it was this conflict. And it was like, you know what? In the end, people don't hire me because of what I look like. They hire me because what I can do.
Yeah.
And I am actually like, and I don't put myself down as far as what I look like. I don't feel healthy and I definitely want to lose that weight. And I don't feel like I look really great. But I also, again, I'm not telling myself that, nobody can, you can't get pictures because nobody's going to work with you because of the way you look. I think it's a trick, a slippery slope to go down.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like what you said, 3, 2, 1, go. But as far as I mean, I hear that a lot. I mean, if someone's talking to me, I mean, no, let me back up. Yeah, that I hear that a lot. I'm not really happy with the way I look. I don't really like being in front of the camera. Some people have a hard time even imagining, what kind of pictures do I need, even like beyond a headshot.
Mhm.
Right now you need so much more than that. Between social media, online marketing for, digital programs, any product or service. I mean, you need to be showing your well-rounded brand, not just, one-dimensional image of you. People want to, see behind the scenes. Uh,
Mhm.
what other, they're just not sure of, how they can show themselves. And me personally, that's one of the things that I love what I do and how I work is, I help people see how they can translate their brand into images, through an extensive questionnaire and conversations. And I put together a vision board for them. And just getting creative, like, let's look at you as a whole person. Let's, look at how how you want your clients to feel at the end of working with you, like really pulling on the emotional strings a little bit, and using those emotions in images, and helping them plan out, like, okay, where are you going to use these, where you're not going to use these. I think a lot of people feel overwhelmed actually with the process of doing something beyond a headshot.
Yeah.
So, I I work with people to really get organized and be their partner to make it all happen.
Yeah. And I think it's important to have fun with it too.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Your smiles need to be genuine. You need to be having a good time. And I think it goes back to the storytelling as well. I think the storytelling comes through on those photos, and people not only want to read your story or hear your story, they want to see it too.
yeah. No, and it's also about choosing a photographer that you connect with.
Yeah.
Because you want someone that you're going to be comfortable with on the day, who might make you laugh, or just you feel comfortable with, because then you're going to be relaxed and you're going to be able to be yourself. So it's
Yeah.
all part of it.
So take time to talk to a couple photographers and see who you connect with. I think that's what I'm getting out of what you just said.
Yeah, definitely interview. Yeah, interview photographers. What's included in their package. Are they going to help you? If you're looking for a brand shoot, are they going to help you? Go beyond the headshot and really figure out what they can do to help you tell your story. Um, some photographers do that. I'd say most don't. But I do also offer that vision boarding service for people who are not in my service area, because I think a lot of photographers don't do that. And I think
Mhm.
people get stuck, like, well, what else do I do besides sit at my desk or be on my phone? Like, there are other things you can do.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah.
All right, awesome. So, you have a free gift for our audience if they're thinking about investing in brand photography.
Yes.
Um,
So this
what is
can
it?
be, for anyone in any service area. It's basically a photo shoot planning guide. And it gives you a little grid where you can plan out some of your shots, and gives you some ideas of different things to think about. And that could be found at servingupsocial.com.
All right. We're going to have the links to everything in the show notes. Any kind of final word or tip for our audience?
I mean, the tip is to just do it. And I mean, honestly, I have worked really hard on this and I am like living proof because I am a serial self-doubter and I have worked really, really hard to just put myself out there. And I'm telling you, the more you do it, the easier it gets. So I know it feels scary and, you know, hard right now, but 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, jump and do it a couple more times. Just kind of like when you're a kid jumping off that diving board, it felt scary, but then
Yeah.
you did it again because it was actually kind of fun.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. So you can reach Rebecca on her website at serving up social, sorry.com. And then also she is on Instagram at serving up social as well. And we'll have all these links in the show notes. Thank you so much, Rebecca, for joining us.
Thank you.
Um, yeah. And hey, guys, I'll see you back on the next episode. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.
Bye, everyone.